This is Chapter 68 of Following the Equator. This LibriVox recording is in the public domain. Following the Equator by Mark Twain, Chapter 68. Judicious Mr. Rhodes. What South Africa consists of. Johannesburg. The gold mines. The heaven of American engineers. What the author knows about mining. Description of the Boer. What should be expected of him. What was. A dizzy jump for Rhodes. Taxes. Rhodesian method of reducing native population. Journeying in Cape Colony. The cars. The country. The weather. Tamed blacks. Familiar figures in King Williamstown. Boer dress. Boer country life. Sleeping accommodations. The reformers in Boer prison. Torturing a black prisoner. None of us can have as many virtues as the fountain pen, or half its cussedness, but we can try. Pudd'nhead Wilson's New Calendar. The Duke of Fife has borne testimony that Mr. Rhodes deceived him. That is also what Mr. Rhodes did with the reformers. He got them into trouble, and then stayed out himself. A judicious man. He has always been that. As to this, there was a moment of doubt once. It was when he was out on his last pirating expedition in the Matabele country. The cable shouted out that he had gone unarmed to visit a party of hostile chiefs. It was true, too, and this daredevil thing came near fetching another indiscretion out of the poet laureate. It would have been too bad, for when the facts were all in, it turned out that there was a lady along, too, and she also was unarmed. In the opinion of many people, Mr. Rhodes is South Africa. Others think he is only a large part of it. These latter consider that South Africa consists of Table Mountain, the diamond mines, the Johannesburg gold fields, and Cecil Rhodes. The gold fields are wonderful in every way. In 7 or 8 years they built up, in a desert, a city of 100,000 inhabitants, counting white and black together. And not the ordinary mining city of wooden shanties, but a city made out of lasting material. Nowhere in the world is there such a concentration of rich mines as at Johannesburg. Mr. Bonamisi, my manager there, gave me a small gold brick with some statistics engraved upon it which record the output of gold from the early days to July, 1895, and exhibit the strides which have been made in the development of the industry. In 1888 the output was $4,162,440. The output of the next 5½ years was, total, $17,585,894. For the single year ending with June, 1895, it was $45,553,700. The capital which has developed the mines came from England, the mining engineers from America. This is the case with the diamond mines also. South Africa seems to be the heaven of the American scientific mining engineer. He gets the choicest places and keeps them. His salary is not based upon what he would get in America, but apparently upon what a whole family of him would get there. The successful mines pay great dividends, yet the rock is not rich, from a Californian point of view. Rock which yields $10 or $12 a ton is considered plenty rich enough. It is troubled with base metals to such a degree that 20 years ago it would have been only about half as valuable as it is now, for at that time there was no paying way of getting anything out of such rock but the coarser-grained free gold. But the new cyanide process has changed all that, and the gold fields of the world now deliver up $50 million worth of gold per year, which would have gone into the tailing pile under the former conditions. The cyanide process was new to me, and full of interest, and among the costly and elaborate mining machinery there were fine things which were new to me, but I was already familiar with the rest of the details of the gold mining industry. I had been a gold miner myself in my day, and knew substantially everything that those people knew about it, except how to make money at it. But I learned a good deal about the Boers there, and that was a fresh subject. What I heard there was afterwards repeated to me in other parts of South Africa. Summed up, according to the information thus gained, this is the Boer. He is deeply religious, profoundly ignorant, dull, obstinate, bigoted, uncleanly in his habits, hospitable, honest in his dealings with the whites, a hard master to his black servant, lazy, a good shot, good horseman, addicted to the chase, a lover of political independence, a good husband and father, not fond of herding together in towns, but liking the seclusion and remoteness and solitude and empty vastness and silence of the veldt, a man of a mighty appetite, and not delicate about what he appeases it with, well satisfied with pork and Indian corn and biltong, requiring only that the quantity shall not be stinted, willing to ride a long journey to take a hand in a rude all-night dance, interspersed with vigorous feeding and boisterous jollity, but ready to ride twice as far for a prayer-meeting, proud of his Dutch and Huguenot origin and its religious and military history, proud of his race's achievements in South Africa, its bold plunges into hostile and uncharted deserts in search of free solitudes, unvexed by the pestering and detested English, also its victories over the natives and the British, proudest of all of the direct and effusive personal interest which the Deity has always taken in its affairs. He cannot read, he cannot write, he has one or two newspapers, but he is, apparently, not aware of it. Until latterly he had no schools, and taught his children nothing. News is a term which has no meaning to him, and the thing itself he cares nothing about. He hates to be taxed, and resents it. He has stood stock still in South Africa for 2 centuries and a half, and would like to stand still till the end of time, for he has no sympathy with Uitlander notions of progress. He is hungry to be rich, for he is human, but his preference has been for riches in cattle, not in fine clothes and fine houses and gold and diamonds. The gold and the diamonds have brought the godless stranger within his gates, also contamination and broken repose, and he wishes that they had never been discovered. I think that the bulk of those details can be found in Olive Schreiner's books, and she would not be accused of sketching the Boer's portrait with an unfair hand. Now, what would you expect from that unpromising material? What ought you to expect from it? Laws inimical to religious liberty? Yes. Laws denying representation and suffrage to the intruder? Yes. Laws unfriendly to educational institutions? Yes. Laws obstructive of gold production? Yes. Discouragement of railway expansion? Yes. Laws heavily taxing the intruder and overlooking the Boer? Yes. The Uitlander seems to have expected something very different from all that. I do not know why. Nothing different from it was rationally to be expected. A round man cannot be expected to fit a square hole right away. He must have time to modify his shape. The modification had begun in a detail or two before the raid, and was making some progress. It has made further progress since. There are wise men in the Boer government, and that accounts for the modification. The modification of the Boer mass has probably not begun yet. If the heads of the Boer government had not been wise men, they would have hanged Jameson, and thus turned a very commonplace pirate into a holy martyr. But even their wisdom has its limits, and they will hang Mr. Rhodes if they ever catch him. That will round him and complete him and make him a saint. He has already been called by all other titles that symbolize human grandeur, and he ought to rise to this one, the grandest of all. It will be a dizzy jump from where he is now, but that is nothing. It will land him in good company and be a pleasant change for him. Some of the things demanded by the Johannesburgers' manifesto have been conceded since the days of the raid, and the others will follow in time, no doubt. It was most fortunate for the miners of Johannesburg that the taxes which distressed them so much were levied by the Boer government, instead of by their friend Rhodes and his chartered company of highwaymen, for these latter take half of whatever their mining victims find. They do not stop at a mere percentage. If the Johannesburg miners were under their jurisdiction, they would be in the poorhouse in 12 months. I have been under the impression all along that I had an unpleasant paragraph about the Boers somewhere in my notebook, and also a pleasant one. I have found them now. The unpleasant one is dated at an interior village.